Hello, everybody. Welcome to Indigo Tarot Odyssey. I decided to do a bonus new moon and energy throughout like this kind of whole week that's going to be taking place because the lighting outside and the temperature is so beautiful. And I love doing outside reads. And so what we're going to do is use the Beyond Lumeria deck, which I love. And we have 3 choices. Number 1 is Surrender, number 2 is Stepping Through, and number 3 is the Portal Keeper. And as we all know, any of us that have cats, our cats are definitely the portal keepers. They are something else. I was so happy as soon as I started my last read for the SparKrist channel. Moonbeams came flying out, and I thought it was so nice. So let's see what each of our messages are and what we can incorporate. So just briefly in this new moon, I feel like it is a numero uno chance for us to just kind of hit that refresh button and stop complicating our lives, right? New moons are about, let's get a starting point. What's one thing we'd like to do for ourselves? I've had a lot of clients that are just saying, with things slowing down so much that they're real, things are problematic for them to regulate their kind of weight. They have more salt and sugar intake, and they don't have like having a bloated little beefer. It makes them sad. I'm the same. I'm not exactly slenderizing in this state. We all have our 5'10" or whatever that we're putting on. But what we have to realize is our body reacts to what we think about it too. So let's really just say it is it is an amazing machine, but treated well and given nourishment, it does amazing things. It gives us eyesight. We can hear things, we can speak. But how I think about it is if I neglect my body, my brain is going to suffer. If I don't have nutrients, brain-rich foods and minerals and things that it needs, I get sluggish in the mental department. And that's what bothers me. So I make sure I'm on top of that with, even if I'm not eating super greens all the time, I have this whacked out powder thing that I drink, and I have vitamins and things. So let's just think of it as this amazing machine that we need to take care of, right? We don't let our car go without oil for 6 years because it's going to break down. So things of that nature. And also, if we're starting to feel a little stale or bored, it's very easy to get creative and start to feel good again. There's a tutorial on everything on this green earth on YouTube and other places too, whether if you want to do resin molds, if you want to make jewelry, if you want to carve wood, there are fun things. There is always some weird little crafty thing that we can start and try, and it starts the creative process. It's just a starting point, right? So we're not doing the same old, we're not waking up scrolling endlessly on our phones, eating garbage, just watching Netflix until we get into a coma, things of that nature. If it is above 30 degrees, that is still outside weather. Even for a moment, I feel like a fresh, crisp wind can just kind of blow those cobwebs off and go, yes, today, maybe I'll organize some things and feel really good about getting rid of some stuff out of my house, things of that nature. So let's start with number 1, which is surrender. And I have to do this daily. It's about trusting and letting go of control, a kind of free flow, receptivity. It's yin energy. It's inner knowing and intuition, being available for synchronistic opportunities. We have to get out of our own way. We have these indoctrinated methods that we deal with things that are outmoded now, right? Mine is definitely, my old one is impatience. Like, oh my gosh, does it take more than 2 days to get here? This isn't Prime Amazon. Forget about it. We're always taking that path of least resistance. Now it's time to allow ourselves to naturally flourish by simplifying. Every day when I wake up, I'm like, okay, just pick what you're happy for right now. And I'll look up and I'll see my cat like just looking at me like she digs me. And I thought, that's good. That's good enough. That's enough to make me happy, motivate me up to get coffee. Next, right? Starting point, next point, step by step. And surrendering really is one of the hardest things to do, because trusting that we can achieve more by loosening our control takes courage. And it's almost the antithesis of what we think would happen, right? We think if we have a tighter structure, better things happen. Not true. And I talked about this in my other video where Martin Luther King didn't even devise that sentence, I have a dream, until the moment he stepped on stage. It wasn't in his curriculum. He was leaving healthy voids for spontaneous thoughts. That's where I feel like the wisdom of spirit constantly comes through, where we leave healthy voids in that, right? So inviting and drawing new projects into being, the energy is really here for you guys now. So when control is released, so is resistance. One of the biggest skills we can learn now is just, let's get out of our own way. We're in a receptive place. We're open to this new world of opportunity. opportunities that's coming in for us. The mind loves to control outcomes, but this only creates limitations, right? It can feel scary, but when we allow ourselves to be caught by the universe, this myriad of opportunities comes in, being in flow state. And I'll do this, I'll just leave an open day. I'm like, I'm not going to plan this thing to death. I want to just be able to, if I have a deadline, I'll take care of that. And the rest is just flowing. It's not to say that our life should be left to the slipstream. The message is about freeing ourselves from the paradigm of control and force. We can achieve with this mode, but we lose opportunities for magic because they're too strict, right? A synchronistic meeting, following our intuition, is being in the right place at the right time. It can outweigh months of careful planning, as we all know. So loosen your hold on the reins and know the universe will catch you. And trust, even if things aren't as you imagined, we can stay poised and aligned with our purpose, and the last minute the situation will reveal its magic. I have to find this a solution to something, right? When we stop pressure zoning it and like, give me the answer, it arises. So that's going to be happening for you in the new moon. So if some of you guys are having monetary fears or restrictions right now, relationship curveballs, all of that, let's let go of how we think things have to be and allow for new magic to kind of come in and solutions to be found with a healthy kind of guidance system of, I believe these answers are coming, and that, they're going to be circulating, and you can pluck them out of kind of like that midstream of magic energy that always comes when we're in a creative phase, when we're in a restful phase, when we're in receptive mode. So beautiful, group one. I love that. So you guys, if you're new to my channel, welcome. Don't forget to press like and subscribe, and come on over and see me on my other channel too. All my links are down below for everything as well. Thank you guys for all your great feedbacks on your private reads as well. And I'm running some specials over on IG, like a really, really great reading special. So come check them out. So number 2, you guys, this is a really remarkable card in that stepping through is saying, just follow your heart, really start to dream big, step through something that has been holding you back. The threshold, starting new projects, self-belief, really says it is possible. Let's go. Let's trust. What I start to do is I start the envision process. Like this morning when I was just all cozy in my bed and doing stuff and starting to scroll, I was like, hey, it's really gorgeous and sunny outside. So what I envisioned right away was me just sitting out in the sun and moonbeams coming up and feeling great and relaxed. That's exactly what happened, and that's why I'm outside now. It starts with just a starting point, thinking, picturing yourself there in this new house. And I want to say hello to Katie and congratulations. She's somebody I've spoken to for a long, long time, a really beautiful soul that has been looking and looking endlessly for a place to live, within her affordability and all these other things. And it has been a great, great area of stress in her life. And this morning she just messaged me, I got it. And she's over the moon. That's what I mean. What is meant for us is coming to us. And you step through all that adversity back into the light. And when we start something, talk about it. Take consistent steps to actualize it. You're going to see it take on momentum of its own. The right people, the places, the opportunities will magnetize. It starts to come together. And don't be afraid for delays or failure, because rejection is part of the process for writers, for creativity. Not everybody goes, I love everything you do all the time. Give me more, 100%. Thank you. You're right. You're made of gold. Happy trails. The reality is in creative fields, there is a lot of rejection. Actors and actresses have, a really hard time of it. But once you kind of, boom, you have that stepping through, it's all part of our journey. And now you have perseverance. And the success we see around us comes from perseverance. So falling and getting back up is part of the journey. So really focusing our energies and committing on seeing your vision become reality is wonderful. So we're human, so let's set some reasonable expectations and know when we apply ourselves, we can make amazing things happen. Building a dream can seem overwhelming, but when you back it up with focus and fortitude, it happens. I'm a prime example of that. I've worked for other people for decades, and I'm an extremely hard worker, and I'm focused, and I want improvements, and I would literally drive myself into the ground of almost exhaustion working for other people. And I thought, what happens if I translated all this energy into my own companies, my jewelry, my gifts, and all of that? I was like, pretty good things, because I have very high standards, and I'm always going to put out the best products, ideas, and things like I do for other people I worked for. And that was it. Sun Tzu, Art of War. I'm like, I pulled those ships on shore and I burnt them. I'm like, this is my plan B is my plan A. Everything is going. It's going to take, and everything wasn't instant. I didn't go like 10, 20, 30,000, 40,000 subscribers overnight. It's a matter of months this takes, and sometimes years. And this is where I want to advise other people: have follow through, have determination, know everything's not about instant gratification, and everything is a learning process too. We learn how to tweak and really kind of dazzle. I remember just trying really fun different sets, and realizing that the magic and the importance was in the messages, not so much some of setting the stages for some of those things and getting dressed up and going on set and having the table and all the jewels and the crowns and everything that was so fun. That would take hours. So sometimes when I got up to deliver the messages, I was tired. So I didn't want so much of a production as I did just wanted the earthly messages to come through. But you're going to step in and step up to all those dreams and projects. Right now is the time. Start, but always a starting. Remember, we're so quick to start running at this fast and hazardous pace to see quick results or the finish line. And so many things are meant to be unfinished. It's a constant journey. It's a constant polishing up. And so just the starting point's what's important. Evaluate what has meaning, where you want to go. That's it. Write that down. What would I like to see happen today that puts my right foot forward in my direction? Trying to clean up your diet. Today, I'm just going to reduce salt and sugar, and I'm going to be cognizant of what I put in my body and see how it feels. And I'll realize that fresh fruit and things that grow out of the earth and trees are better for it, make me feel better. Things of that nature. Not, I've got to drop this amount of weight. And I've got to tell you, Ian is doing this crazy thing right now, and he will not be waylaid, and he always does this. He goes on a crazy fast for 2 or 3 days just to separate completely from the addictive pattern of wanting sugar and food, because he put on a couple pounds that he doesn't want. And that's never worked with me, and I don't advise that. It's step by step. First noticing, what does your body need, things of that nature. And for some of you guys that want to open your own businesses, make a change, it's like picture yourself in that change state and how good it feels, right? And by traversing these other realms, it's an innate ability that we all have. Young children really have this skill because they're not convinced they're not real, right? Animals, cats also have this awareness. People experience hallucinations, perceive multiple layers of information simultaneously. You can see yourself in this reality, right? I love it. And it's like, gently explore the edges of your reality right now and spend time maybe in the forest or nature to listen and deepen meditation, dance, explore different things that are lighter so you can step through. And it's very rare I see people in a bad mood when they're dancing, laughing, or doing something creative. So stepping into that. So beautiful energy group too. I love that for you. Again, you guys, if you're new to my channel, welcome. Don't forget, like and subscribe. It really helps me. And come see the smaller channel where I do daily little pops of positivity, tarot readings over on SparKrist Inspiration. All my links are down below, you guys. So let's go into the Portal Keeper. And this is interesting because I've had this deck for a little while, and this card has never come up or really into my notice. And I find this artwork exceptional and funny because this is every cat I've ever known. They are the Portal Keepers, right? And this speaks to us of unique gateways into mystical experiences, our psychic abilities, raising our vibration, expanded consciousness, Akashic records, past life ties, significant messages, this kind of multi-dimensional awareness, getting out of the 3D. And I was mentioning this before about listening to Melody Beckler and her guests that she had on her show, and I thought this was great. We can be so indoctrinated into the 3D matrix, especially if we live in metropolises and cities and people are in hurries and they're not respectful of your play, your kind of space and place. I feel like being by ocean fronts, being out near trees, being in forests really helped this. She lives in Sedona, and it's quite a different atmosphere. And I lived in Taos, New Mexico, and I remember the vibration there. I loved it. Just stepping outside seemed super just transformational. The sunsets were off the hook. They were amazing. Comment if you live in the Southwest, because there's something about their sunsets and that mountain living that is so lovely. But as we become more sensitive and aware, we're more receptive to mystical experiences. We can realize there are overlaying realities that seemed just as real, right? If not more vibrant and profound than familiar everyday ones. There's a theory that space and time are constructs that allow our human minds to grasp sequences and chronological order and enable us to orientate and move forward through this reality. in their current evolution, humans are only using a small portion of their brain capacity. I believe this. This is so crazy. And until I'm really tested sometimes, this is true too, because somebody will be talking to me and I'll realize I remember everything they've said verbatim, like for the last couple conversations, and they could be really long. And that's when I realize when I and apply active listening skills and present moment awareness, I can hear, see, think, feel exactly what's going on within that, right? But it's the distractions that get to us, right? We're like, oh, let me just look at my phone while this person's talking to me. Oh, let me just try to multitask while this is happening. So it incapacitates our kind of like singular understanding of what's happening right then. Like, do you remember when you were a child and you went the first time to a new place, how amazing that memory was? The first time you saw the ocean, the first time you touched sand, the first time you went in Florida and you saw a palm tree, something different that impacted you. It had your present moment awareness, so you were really plugged into that. And I truly believe this about human brains, that they are miraculous, and we haven't even like tapped the surface of what we're capable when it comes to that, especially our extrasensory perceptions. And I feel like this is a unique time in history where people are really going to come to terms with that, and they're really going to be able to feel what other people are feeling, anticipate their and other people's needs, all of this. There's a transformation out there that is real. And the Lemurians operated in multiple realms and could disappear from human perception. Technically, they're in the same location, but in an overlaying reality. Sometimes, don't you just feel like, oh, I just tripped out for a minute and I saw, think, or felt this, but it's a deeper kind of like 5D existence when we do that, because we believe we're in the flow state. Two people in an identical environment can have different experiences. One may thrive and enjoy the opportunities. The other may only see the negatives and be fearful of the situation, right? Here, one or both parties may be traversing realities on a micro level. And these micro realms look very similar, but the way we feel, the reflections we see in others, and the way the circumstances unfold are aligned with our vibration. That's why I feel like people in very dangerous circumstances, that's like when heroes come out, because their vibration is high. They're like, there's a solution to this. We can all be safe if we do A, B, and C. And then you get panic and fear. It's a lower vibration. That's where people do hostile, ridiculous, strange things. That's mob mentality, that sheeple thinking, stuff like that. And we've all experienced that, right? In bullying in school, the people that just hopped on the bigger bully train, that's the easy way out. That's a low vibration. I want to be safe pack mentality thing. And then you'd have the people that stand up and that's where I feel sometimes we wake up to that in different stages of our life, right? We can convince ourselves something isn't real, just like we can convince ourselves something is real. Like I'm constantly that this joyful opportunity is real and I'm going to reach for it, and we manifest it. And sometimes it's surprising, right? Do you surprise yourself? You're like, I'm not going to drive around endlessly looking for a parking spot. I'm going to manifest one. It's going to be right up front. It shows up. I'm going to find a feather. I'm going to find a coin. I'm going to find this message. It shows up. This is a very dynamic, real time for these things to happen. These synchronicities, these love matches, these deep understandings of self are really arising. And when we do this, we become the portal keeper. We step right through. You're like, I'm going to open this reality to me being happy, healthy, wise, grounded, fulfilled, connected, thriving, calm, tranquil. And that's it. We manifest it. If we see ourselves in this way, we experience this. And that's what's happening for you, group 3. So beautiful, beautiful energy. I love these cards in this deck. And again, things have been manifesting for me and just showing up for me. I looked down in my cupboard. These were the first things I saw. I was like, those are them. And I just reached for them. These synchronistic events are happening. And then I was like, the sun is shining and it's warm. That is happening. We are going outside. I feel like the light is different. The energy, you can hear the birds and whatever freaking Cujo activity was going on in the other yard. There were some dogs going berserko. But anyway, you guys, you are the absolute best. And come DM me too. Some people just, they have like these little flights of fancy or these things that they perceive as these big barriers, but they're really not. And sometimes just by conversing with somebody who understands and doesn't judge, it's helpful. So always feel free to come over and DM me too. Love to you guys. It is a time to thrive and feel good and whole and together and communicate. And I'm really loving this energy. I love January anyway. I don't know what it is about it. I feel like it's just a fresh, crisp kind of like reset month. So love and light to you guys. I am going to go upload.